Hey, future data enthusiast. Welcome back to GuideCoachings, the go-to channel for all things data-driven. I'm your host Mozam Ali, and today we are diving deep into the world of dashboards, performance optimization. Get ready for the insights that will turbocharge your data visualization game. But before we embark on this knowledge journey, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Why? Because here we don't just analyze data, we transform it into actionable insights together. By subscribing, you are not just keeping up with the latest insights, you are joining a family passionate about leveraging data for success. Now, speaking of success, I have something truly exciting to share with you. Many of you have been asking for a more immersive learning experience, and guess what? Your wish is our command. I am thrilled to announce our exclusive 3 months online course for aspiring data analysts. Yep, you heard it right. In this comprehensive program, we'll equip you with the skills needed to navigate the data landscape like a pro. From understanding the fundamentals to mastering the advanced analytics techniques, we have got it all covered. From first two demo classes are absolutely free, so you can join the live classes on Saturdays and Sundays between 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you are serious about taking your data analyst game to the next level, check out the link in the description for more details and secure your spot today. Seats are limited, and trust me, you don't want to miss the opportunity. Alrighty then, let's jump into the topic of today, that is what is dashboard performance tuning and why it is so important. So whenever you are preparing for the interview, the interviewer no might ask you the third question. The first question will be introduce yourself, then in which explain your project, and the third one would be, most probably the third question would be dashboard performance. Now how you will perform, how you do a dashboard performance tuning. Now first of all, understand that what is performance tuning. So whenever you have a huge database, when you have a lots of things into your dashboard, the way it is shown into the image, you have a lot of things, so your system try to react on the processing. It takes a lot of time in processing, and it gives results, so the system, overall system, get slower. So to avoid that slowerness or that latency into the system, there are few things which we can pay attention to, and we can improvise the performance of a dashboard. That is nothing but the dashboard performance tuning. Okay, so here in this performance we have several things, which we have several guidelines as a to understand while we are discussing, while we are improving the performance of a dashboard. So what are they? We'll see one by one. First of all, uh, what we will do, first of all, we will check the performance of the dashboard, like whether the it needs a performance tuning or not. That is the first question, right? So if a system is huge, definitely it is going to take a longer time to load the data, to show the results, and to transform according to the requirements, according to the parameters, according to the filters. So that is there. So the first thing is identification of the performance tuning, that is it required or not. So here comes a important tool which is available by which is provided by Tableau. That is, we can do the performance recording. Okay, we will do the for first of all, we'll do the performance tuning. We need to understand whether it is any optimization or not, and then we will do it using the help of performance recording. How we can do it? We will go to help, then we'll go to settings and performance, and then we'll start performance recording. Once we record the performance, we go to the dashboard, and we do some perform some actions, we perform some filters, we'll change the parameters. It will record all the pinpoints, slow worksheets. Okay, slow queries, what are slow, like slow queries, slow worksheets, and render times of dashboards, everything it measures it out, and once you stop it, it will give you the report in the form of a detailed structured, like what exactly, where the, how much time it is taking. We have already seen that, so I'm not showing it. I am showing this to explain it to the interviewer. Okay, so in terms of the explanation, you should remember the steps, because when you are explaining it to the interviewer, you will not have any screen, or you are just going to explain it orally. So you need to understand what all the steps you need to perform, and how it should be doing, going to make the performance optimization. So the first thing is we will run performance recording. We will do it. Once that is done, we will stop it, and then we'll see the report. Once the report is given, we'll see that it gives the every sheet, every filter, every parameter a time span, how much time it have taken. Okay, it even shows the query text, allowing you to work with database and team optimizing the at the database level. It also gives you that uh, how much time a query is taking and how long it is taking, so you can go back and ask your database team to optimize the query. That is the points. Okay, now the first point which comes under performance tuning of a dashboard is data strategy. Okay, extracts are typically much faster to work with than live data source. As we know, live and extract, live versus extract is a very important concept again. So when we talk about live versus extract, so obviously extracts are typically much faster, so you can use extracts while you are, you want to improve the performance. Okay, since an extract is a columnar store, it's a columnar store. Okay, so wider the data set, the slower the query time. Okay, because it works column wise, that is why it becomes slower. Okay, because most of the time we don't have a huge table with multiple columns, so most of the time it works good with small number of columns into a table. Okay, minimize the number of fields. As I mentioned, if we minimize the number of columns, that means we are minimizing the number of fields. Okay, use the hide all unused fields. Okay, whenever you want to improve the performance, what you can do, you can hide unused fields, you can hide unused columns, or you can minimize the number of records. If you have a data of 10 lakh records but you are processing only 1 lakh records, so those 9 lakh of record is sitting idle doing nothing, so you just need to remove that. Because see, if the audience is larger, it will going to take a huge capacity. So if you are like, you are going to arrange a concert where you have a capacity of 1 lakh people, and by default 10 lakh people came, so most 9 lakh people will stand and only 1 lakh people will sit. But those standing 9 lakh people may create disturbance to that 1 lakh audience or to the performer who is performing. So it is good, it is advisable, it is best that you keep only 1 lakh records inside your data set, so that it will help you to improve the performance. That is the second point. The third point is minimize the number of records. The third point is use extract filters and keep only data you need. Okay, now we can use the extract filters. So extract filter is like a filter which is applied onto the data source layer, where we will be validating, and we will be taking only the data which is important and relevant for that particular dashboard. That is how we can do it. Don't worry, we are going to again revisit those topics and we'll see that. First of all, we'll complete it. Okay, now the second point is reduce the marks. Okay, data points in your view. So if you have a view on your dashboards or your sheet, drawing 1000 points on a graphic is more difficult than drawing the 3 points. So reduce the number of points, reduce the number of marks. Large cross tables with a BV or of a quick filters can cause increased load times when you try to view all the rows and dimensions on a tableau view. So I can summarize it in a simple way, that if you are working on 100 marks, whether and if you are working on 3 marks, so what is beneficial, what is feasible? Obviously working on 3 marks is way more easier. So work on what is required, only what is required. Don't work which is not required, okay, to optimize the performance. Now the next point come is limit your filters by number and type. Number and type, there are two things. So reduce the number of filters. If you have applied multiple filters, try to reduce them, because every filter will create a new query, and those query will go back again to the database, and it will get the result and then filter it out, and then again the nested filters if you have applied, you need to remove it. Okay, unnecessary filters I'm talking about. Excessive filters on a view will create a more complex query, as I mentioned, because query within a query, query within a query will again going to take a lot of time to get the result, and it will just hamper the performance of your dashboard. Okay, use boolean values as they are processed at much faster range than string function. Okay, so if you use true false, that is a very quick, that is the base of these of your computer. So computers are based on this true false nature logical language, where we have either true or false. So 0 and 1 is a binary code on which the computer has been developed. So ultimately that helps a lot if you are using string function, and if you are using a boolean function, so definitely boolean function will work faster. Then we have the point number 4: optimize and materialize your calculations. Optimize and materialize your calculations. So whatever calculations you have written, you need to simplify it, break it down, perform calculation at a database level. Okay, so if you are creating a calculated field, or if you are calculating the fields at a database level, so it is much easier for the data to be executed, because it is coming the filtered one. Okay, the data which is coming onto the dashboard, it is already filtered by the query which you have written. Now reduce the number of nested calculations, as we have spoken earlier about the filter. So if you apply nested filter, it is nothing but a nested query. So reduce the number of nested calculations. Don't call one function into another and another function into another. Just try to simplify it, so that each and every function can work independently and can get result much at a faster pace. Okay, reduce the granularity. Now LODs, you need to reduce that. Reduce the LODs. If you are using too much LODs, it will cause performance issues. So try to use minimum LODs. Okay, or table calculations in the view, and reduce the joins. We'll see that in the coming explanation. The next point which we can consider is, where possible, use mean and max functions and instead of average function. Okay, definitely average function is something different, and mean and max functions are something different, but average function takes a lot of time, and mean and max takes a lesser time than average function. That is what the point is. Okay, you may or may not include into the description. Okay, now the fifth point is the take the advantage of Tableau query optimization. Now here the query optimization is again a feature which is provided by the Tableau, so you can use of it, you can take help of it and optimize the query. Okay, then we have the sixth point: clean up your workbooks. Okay, now what is cleaning up of your workbook? So suppose you were working on a dashboard, but and you have completed all the line charts, graph charts, donut charts, you have done that, and you have pushed your code to the Tableau server. Now when the stakeholders came, he saw that the reports are not correct, or there are some glitches, or there are some errors which you need to fix it up. So what you do, you again download it, you again download that particular dashboard into your local, and then you keep it, you create a replica onto your machine, onto your Tableau desktop, and then you start working on it, and then you push the code. So what happens, that replica which you have created will also go with that particular reports. So because of that, it might be the scene where it will reduce the performance. So always clean up what is unnecessary, clean it out. Okay, so if you have created a replica and you have completed it successfully, just delete what is unnecessary. If it is sheet, if it is a dashboard, if it is something no unused fields, filters, whatever it is, you need to clear it out. Okay, reduce the dashboard scope. Again, this is again don't make everything covered into one dashboard. You need to, you can create one dashboard, you can create 10 dashboards and one independent dashboard which will be redirecting you to other dashboards, which will be the 11th dashboard. Okay, so that way you are reducing the load onto a machine, onto a system. So assume it in such a way that if you have 10 files and you are giving it to one person, no doubt he will complete those 10 files in 1 week. Now if you increase those 10 files by 20 files, you are giving this to the same person and you are asking it to do it in 1 month or in 1 week. So if he is able to capable to do 10 files in 1 month, and now you are providing him 20 files to complete in one month, so ultimately his quality will degrade, his performance, his response time will again going to down. And now if you increase the number of files, the it is directly proportional to his quality and his performance, that it will be degrading. Similarly, if you put 10 people with 10 different set of files, so it will be easy and nobody will be overloaded. So that is the main concept over here we need to apply whenever we are creating dashboards, that don't put everything into the dashboard or don't put too much information into the dashboard. Just create simple, realistic and simplistic dashboards, and if it is needed you can create the another dashboards or you can use the story line. Okay, now coming back to the points which are crux of the points. So whenever a question is asked like how the dashboard performance optimization is done or how you will do the dashboard performance tuning, so these are the points which you can mention. 3 or 4 points is also sufficient if you are giving into the interview. Okay, but you should be able to remember all the points. Okay, the first point which we have seen is extract are much faster than live connections. So use extracts when you want to improve the performance, because if you are using live connection, it will go back and it will wait for the execution, it will take the records and then it will come back to you and then it will show you. It is going to take a lot of time, so use extracts instead of live connection. Then performance calculations at the database level. Perform calculations at database level. The second point is you need to perform the calculations at database level so it does not hamper the performance. Now reduce the number of nested calculations. You need to reduce the nested calculations, use simplistic queries. Then reduce the granularity, use less LODs. Then lots of joins takes lots of time, so minimize the use of join. These are the 5 points. Then do not use custom SQL, it creates a load onto the database. Okay, if you're using custom SQL query, it again goes as a SQL query which is thrown by the Tableau, and it will go and it will process and then it will get the results. So it is going to take a lot of time, so don't use custom SQL query. It is not advisable while you are dealing with a huge data set. Again, conditions apply. Okay, then minimize the number of fields, like hide unused fields, minimize the number of records which are necessary, which you are performing the data operations. You can keep those only and reduce the unnecessary filtration. Okay, then limit the filters used by the number of types. Okay, excessive filters will create more complex queries and which takes a longer to run. Okay, then use a boolean instead of using string functions. Then use min max instead of average function. Reduce dashboard scope, as we discussed, you need to reduce it. And delete unconsolidated unused worksheets and data sources. Again, this point comes under the same point there, where we will reduce the unused worksheets and dashboards, and whatever data we have, we will remove it. We will keep only what is important. Okay, I hope you have understood the concept of performance tuning of a dashboard. And if you like the video, please hit that subscribe button. And if you have any queries, any questions or any doubts regarding the topic which I have covered today, you can write me a comment and we will be discussing it into our next session. That's all for today. Thank you.